Good morning. Nice to see everybody. I'm Anne, a Unity in Lynnwood prayer chaplain, and I'm so glad to be with you whether you are virtual or in the sanctuary. Welcome. Before we move into the silence, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, and just breathe. Allow your breathing to guide you to your heart, where peace, calm, and stillness are awaiting. Breathe in and out with ease, allowing your busy thoughts to dissolve into the silence of the one heart. Allow grace to be your guide. Please take this affirmation if it speaks to you. I am divinely guided to my deepest self, which is love. As we come out of the silence, take a minute and just stretch into this present moment. Gently open your eyes. We have been held in divine love and are grateful. Please join me in blessing Dr. Richard, Matthew, Unity in Lynnwood, our community, and our world. So it is.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning. Let's take a few minutes to get fully present in where we are right now. I invite you to get as comfortable as possible wherever you are, feeling your body entirely as you sit mindfully in your seat. To help you focus from the inside out, perhaps close your eyes. Notice your sits bones allowing you to rest on whatever surface you're sitting, or the firmness of your feet if you're standing. Take a breath and pay attention to every aspect of that breath. Feel the air entering your nostrils and moving into your lungs. Notice when the breath feels its fullest, and then exhale, again feeling the air pass through your nose or mouth. On your next breath, simply imagine and appreciate all that your incredible body does to allow you to breathe. As you continue to take mindful breaths, be aware of each one. Is it smooth and gentle? Maybe labored and difficult? Do you notice any aromas as you breathe in? As you exhale, does your body respond in any way? On your next breath, take just a moment and pause between the inhale and exhale and ask your body if there's anything it wants to tell you. So often we ignore or push away the feelings or ideas that arise in these moments of paying attention. Welcome and embrace these messages. Allow the breath to continue to breathe you as you acknowledge that power that gives you breath. How extraordinary are you that you perform this incredible act of breathing. Be grateful for the oxygen that brings you life and sustains your lungs and heart and all of your body systems. Thank your body for its ability to do all this and give gratitude for this moment right here, right now. It is in this quiet place that we are most aware of all that matters, our connection to the oneness that we are together. As we collectively enjoy this moment of oneness, let's remind ourselves of some important truths. I am whole and perfect just the way I am. I am the universe, and the universe is me. I am strong and beautiful. I am loving. I am peace. Let these affirmations infuse into your very soul until the reality becomes you. As we close this meditation, let's return to your breath, feeling the fullness of its center and ground you in the truth of your being. You are a beautiful manifestation of love, divinely guided and blessed. And so it is.
Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
It's great to see you all. Will you please join me while we welcome our youth?
You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Let's sing out. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright.
Good morning. I'm Stacy. I'm the Director of Youth and Family Ministries, if you don't already know that. And I don't know, we're not going to have enough space up here, maybe. Good problems to have. I have a couple of announcements for what's up and coming in Youth and Family Ministries. First, the meetups that have been happening for the community. We have family night coming up on Wednesday night, so I'm super excited. Youth and family, myself, I'm going to be the host. We're going to have kids there. I'm encouraging you all to come join us, have some fun. It is going to be at Around the Table Game Pub in Lynnwood, Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Come play some games with us and hang out and have some fun. The teens are going to be there, and I'm really excited. So I hope to see each of you there. Friday, a lot of our teens are headed off to retreat for the Northwest region, so that's exciting. And so you won't see as many faces here next week because they will all be at a really awesome camp that the region hosts. And then the last announcement is the following weekend on the 29th, we have a couple of our teens in our leadership program who have organized an event for Alice in Wonderland escape room outside in Everett. So we are gonna do that on the 29th, followed by a movie and some dinner and snacks here at the church. So if you're interested or you know some teens that would like to go, all teens are invited, junior high, high school, we would love to have them. Give me an email or a call and I will give you the info. So anyway, would you please all join me, stand, and join me in blessing our youth.
You are the light in this world. Let it shine so bright. And as the youth exit, please greet your neighbor while respecting the sticker colors.
We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright.
Thank you so much. Please be seated when you get it out of your system. Which could be for a while. I guess I should, let me clarify. So I would like to welcome back our very own Jennifer and Bev. So we are going to try to have them join us every month going forward now, and so that's exciting.
I slept last night in a good hotel. I went shopping today for jewels. The wind rushed around in the dirty town, and the children let out from the school. I was standing on a noisy corner, waiting for the walking green. Across the street he stood, and he played real good on his clarinet for free. Now me, I play for fortune and those velvet curtain calls. I've got a black limousine and two gentlemen escorting me to the hall. And I play if you have the money, band by the quick lunch stand. He was playing real good for free. Nobody stopped to hear him, though he played so sweet and high. They knew he had never been on their TV, so they passed his music by. I meant to go over and ask for a song, maybe put on a harmony. I heard his refrain as the signal changed. He was playing real good for free.
Bev Templin.
I think the only person who might love Joni Mitchell more than I do is Matthew. That was awesome, beautiful. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. Each and every Sunday, we have the opportunity to restate our message of welcome to everyone, whether you're sitting here in our beautiful sanctuary in Lynnwood, at your kitchen table in Kenya, or your patio in Florida. We feel and honor your presence, regardless of where you are, whether you had pancakes or a Pop-Tart for breakfast, what kind of pajamas, if any, you're wearing, whether you call yourself a Buddhist, a Christian, a Jew, a Muslim, an atheist, or some lovely tapestry of all of the above. We welcome you if you prefer pepperoni or pineapple on your pizza, if you dig drag racing or drag queens, or are a hot potato or a couch potato. But here's the thing. We need to welcome each other, whether it's a first or a 40th greeting, even when we know that we might not see eye to eye with someone. In fact, it's particularly critical to open our hearts, if not our arms, to those who appear different from us. And here's the catch to that. We must love ourselves deeply and completely before we can authentically engage with others. In his must-read book, Conscious Living, Gay Hendricks says that we need to ask ourselves two great questions. How do I live at peace with myself? And how do I live in harmony with the people around me? I think we need to get deep into number one before we can even begin to try number two. We could spend a month of Sundays delving into this book, but one of Hendricks' key introductory points is that we must genuinely feel that self-love deep into our bones before we can engage in intimacy with others. Sounds simple, right? Well, if you're anything like me, most of your childhood was spent trying to disassociate from any actual feelings, physical or emotional. Hearing mom and dad fighting downstairs? Put a pillow over your head and block it out. Kids humiliating you on the ball field because you're too big to run fast? Eat another Twinkie. Prefer doll tea parties to Tonka trucks or vice versa? Create your own imaginary playgroup. I'm sure you all have your own. Point is, we are taught from a very young age to ignore at best, or to sublimate or deny our feelings at worst. By the time we reach young adulthood, we're pretty clueless, well, with the exception of a rare few, about who we are and what makes us wonderfully unique. And so the work begins. As Hendrik cites the oracle at Delphi, the very first step is know thyself. As he says, the metaphor here is powerful. If you want to tap into magic, to talk heart to heart with the divine, you need to know who you are. He offers 5 lessons that we must delve into if we are to live consciously. The first being, feel all your feelings deeply. For me, this means unlearning almost everything that I fought so hard to achieve so I could protect myself when I was a kid. As we move into this understanding of who we really are, we move from ego to connection. Author Claudia Navone says the best way to move in this direction is to feed the ego with love and to understand that the ego is just protecting us because when it is frightened, it simply goes into reaction against whatever it may feel can damage us. So we can't deny or judge the ego lest we judge ourselves. So I invite you all to share my mantra for this week. Kindness starts with me. Thank you.
It is the honor of an incarnation to bask in the nobility, yet again, that is you. So I begin with words of gratitude for the gift of you, for the gift of being in your noble presence. Thank you. I begin with thank you. I begin with thank you. If you are a member of our social media audience, if you are a member of our virtual sanctuary, and you would like to tell us a little bit about your geography, perhaps share your name, allow that host to welcome you, please open your social media chat window and do so at this time. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. That mission statement is so short on word and yet so very long in meaning. Every week I like to support this with one of the discussion points we developed in conversation with your board of trustees in late 2014. Where does the time go? Today I've chosen the 6th of 6 points, and it reads as follows. We welcome people from all spiritual traditions or from no spiritual tradition whatsoever into every activity of our community. I am proud to read that. I'm proud to read that. Those joining us this morning include Ursula from Cocoa, Florida, Alicia from Edmonds, Karen Breen James from Poulsbo, Deb Van Walson, New Jersey, Judy in Florida, Pascaline in Nairobi, Kenya. In-house audience, would you join me in speaking to our online audience? Say, we see you. We see you. We see the truth of you. We see the truth of you. We see the light of you. We see the light of you. We welcome you this morning. We welcome you this morning. Now, in-house audience, let's pause and let's listen. Oh my goodness. If you would like to pray with someone following the conclusion of this time together, UIL is proud to offer a bevy of trained prayer chaplains, eager is the word I use today, eager to support you. They will be located in this geography following our time together that you might have a face. Would they please stand now and allow us to recognize them? Simply seek one of these noble souls. If you are a member of our online sanctuary this morning and you would like to pray with someone, start the process by writing prayer@unityinlynnwood.org. Include a working telephone number, preferably your own, and expect a call from an anonymous number shortly following the conclusion of this service. Every week we've offered informal meetups. If you would like to connect with like-minded people in different geographies, in different settings, please drop in. This week we do ask that you reserve, please, that we might have the appropriate number of tables for family night at Around the Table in Lynnwood, 7:00 p.m., hosted by Stacy Bailey. If you would like to participate, grab a question card on your way out of the sanctuary this morning. For those in our online audience, your meetup is 12:30 every Sunday afternoon, hosted by Deb Van Walsen in New Jersey. Go to the calendar page at unityinlynnwood.org, click on today's meetup, register, and then check your junk folder for the link. I continue to delight in you. Maybe you would like to take a peek sideways and enjoy what I am privileged to enjoy this morning. Maybe find the eye of someone and simply say, welcome. Maybe say, I'm glad you're here. Maybe thank you for the gift of unity in Lynnwood. Today, following this service, 12:30 annual business meeting. If you are an active eligible member, please grab a cup of coffee and stay. All are welcome. Only active eligible members may vote. Words of invocation, take them in the manner most suited to you. Allow them to simply wash through you, or speak them out loud, or whisper them. Maybe offer them as something of a prayer. They read as follows: though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. And so it is. Week 1 suggested that you are far more than you have imagined yourself to be. That you are not best defined by the parts you carry or by the years you live, but by the eternal essence of you, which you bring into your incarnation from that field of pure potentiality, which we call, because we gather in a building such as this, on a morning such as this, we call it God. And maybe a core encouragement of week 1 was that you spend time exploring that eternal essence of you. Spend time in nature. Spend time in silence. spend time in non-judgment. I hope you're still practicing that one. I am. These are practices which support you in exploring that eternal essence of you. I've been known to say that all faith traditions can be distilled or reduced into a universal twofold challenge. Discover who you really are and find ways to be that in your world. How do you like that? Discover who you really are and find ways to be that in your world. Week 2 suggested that the nature of the spiritual universe is reciprocal. This is evidenced in what Chopra called the law of giving. I call it the law of giving and receiving. If you want to enrich your receiving, enrich your giving. If you want to enrich your giving, enrich your receiving. There cannot be one without the other because these are simply different sides of one indivisible coin. If you think you are living prosperously, but you can't give gracefully and gratefully, you're not living as prosperously as you think you are. And if you think you are loving fully, but you can't receive gratefully and gracefully, you're not loving as fully as you think you are. And if you don't believe me, or if you think that's a trite platitude of some sort, put it to the test. One implication of unity's practicality is that anything we would suggest as principle should be provable. Principle should be provable. You should be able to step up your giving and have a measurable story to tell. You should be able to step up your receiving and have a measurable story to tell. Said another way, the law of giving and receiving offers that the spiritual universe is ever flowing itself to its creation, and our choices are either to frustrate or to cooperate. Those are our choices. We frustrate when we live from paradigms of owning and hoarding and competing. But we begin to cooperate when we live from paradigms of caretaking and experiencing and allowing. It was in the 1960s that a bunch of pot-simmered patchouli proponents got it right when they reminded an entire generation of the timeless truth to go with the flow. Now, the wisdom might have come from a rather earthy place, but it was an inspired wisdom nonetheless. And maybe it's a good affirmation to begin our time together today. Today, I go with the flow of a God that supports me. How do you like that? Will you take it with me? It will appear magically on the screen behind me or in front of me or to the side of me, depending upon where you are. The power of perception right there demonstrated. Let's take it together. Today, I go with the flow of a God that supports me. Today, I go with the flow of a God that supports me. If you are joining us for the first time, feel free to revisit week 1 or week 2 via the social media vehicle of your choice. And even if you don't want to revisit week 1 or week 2 for my words, well, at least revisit week 2 for Matthew's aria. Am I? Oh, man. Week 3 of our fall text entitled The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. It's written by Deepak Chopra, continues this theme of a spiritual universe that's reciprocal. He quotes the Christian teaching attributed to Jesus in his suggestion that in the same fashion that our giving and receiving are bound, our sowing and our reaping are bound. The early Christian persecutor turned Christian missionary Paul used these words to say essentially the same thing. He who sows sparingly shall reap sparingly, and he who sows bountifully shall reap bountifully. Some don't realize that much, if not most, of what we today would call Christianity is the product of an early Christian persecutor turned Christian missionary, a man who never met Jesus in the flesh, but who had a mystical experience of Jesus after his crucifixion. Understandably, Paul was not always popular with those who had worked with Jesus all along. Paul was not always popular with the Jerusalem crew, we might say. So these words of Jesus and Paul, both being observant Jews, understandably echo those found in Jewish scripture, where we find, they who sow wickedness reap the same. From the wisdom of Zoroastrianism, we find, if you sow a thorn, you will reap. It's like you're a Zoroastrian. Now that the Persian Zoroastrians and the Galilean Jews might have influenced each other's thinking, it's inevitable. The Persians were one of a long string of Jewish captors and persecutors. The Romans weren't the first, you understand. From the wisdom of Islam, we find the idea expressed this way: he who shall mediate between men for a good purpose shall be the gainer of it. But he who would mediate with an evil mediation shall reap the fruit of it. In the scriptures from the Baha'i faith, nothing is taken save that which has been laid down. From the wisdom of Hinduism, it's been written, as is his desire, so is his will, so becomes the deed, and whatever the deed, that we will reap. Now, this seems strangely less mystical and more psychological to me. It's less about cosmic forces mirroring our choices to us in kind, and more about a human desire giving rise to a human will, giving rise to a human behavior, giving rise to a human outcome. It seems earthier to me. A human desire for power, for example, gives rise to a human will to conquer, which gives rise to a human war upon others, which gives rise to a human family in chaos. Or maybe on a more personal level, it could be said that human pleasure gives rise to human satiation, which gives rise to human addiction, which gives rise to human destruction. The favorite of all for me comes from Buddhism. Now, before I share this quote from Buddhist wisdom with you, I will invite you to remember that we are discussing the law of karma today. In other words, if you're like me, you might be tempted into all manner of judgment and separation and even self-righteousness. So there you have it. That's my disclaimer as we explore the wisdom of Buddhism that would offer the idiot will be punished by his own deeds. There you have it. The idiot will be punished by his own deeds. Now, I say that you might be tempted into all manner of judgment and separation and even self-righteousness, because when we hear a statement like that, we never identify as the idiot, do we? When we hear a statement like that, it's always about someone else. When we listen to the lyrics of Joni Mitchell, we never identify as the one who would dehumanize the clarinet player playing for free on the corner. It's been an evolving idea of mine that the next time I teach from biblical parables, I will ask us to consider ourselves not only as Joseph, but as those who sold him into slavery as well. I'll ask us to consider ourselves not only as that Samaritan, but as those who left the man on the side of the road in the first place. I'll ask us to consider ourselves not only as the farmer who sows good seed, but as the one who might sneak in at night and plant weeds as well. Because whether we turn to unity thought or to Jewish thought, each of these characters might be thought to represent something in human consciousness. Each of these characters might be thought to represent something in us. What is it in me that might sell my brother? What is it in me that might discard an outsider? What is it in me that might sneak in at night and sow discord and division and dissonance? In the end, and across all faith traditions, you see, this law of karma is a concept that seems to affirm that the spiritual universe is reciprocal. Who we are has a way of being mirrored without until such time as it's not. And while we like to think of karma as the stuff of Boy Scouts who help the elderly cross the busy streets and bullies who throw sticks at kittens for applause, coins dropped into collection tins at Christmas maybe. And while a karma operative at that conscious level is relevant enough, Chopra suggests that it's a karma operative at the subconscious level where we find our real work. I'll say that again. Chopra suggests that it's karma operating at the subconscious level where we find our real work. He suggests that when we look in a mirror, we see a bundle of mindless habits, ingrained responses, repetitive behaviors, seeming predispositions. So in any conversation about this third law, about the law of karma, ours is to look first for what's routine and repetitious. Maybe I don't think about the clothes I wear, the food I eat, the words I use, the route I take to work, the books I read, the businesses I support. Ours is to become aware of those arenas in life we have assigned to that automatic pilot whose trustworthiness is in some question, routine and repetitious. In any conversation about karma, ours is to look first for what's safe, stable, stale, and uncreative. As I've said so many times before, pain is not the enemy of your greatness. Comfort is the enemy of your greatness. Many are the people for whom it was an unbearable pain that became the catalyst for a full life that would not have been afforded by comfort alone. Comfort can be considered something of a purgatory of not enough desperation to leave and not enough inspiration to grow. Safe, stale, uncreative. In any conversation about karma, ours is to look first for what's conditioned from the past. What elements of your daily life exist simply because your parents did it that way? I might be the only one this morning. Simply because your teachers taught it that way. Maybe because your culture believes it that way. Simply because your tradition imposes it that way. At what points do you find yourself saying things like, well, that's just the way it is, even though it isn't? Or, well, I just don't have any choice in the matter, even though you do. In any conversation about karma, ours is to look first for what's habitual, reflexive, automatic maybe. I give a lecture somewhere. 48 minutes later, somebody turns to social media to post an opinion about the shoes I wore. 52 minutes later, I'm experiencing hurt or anger. 98 minutes later, I've softened a bit. Habitual, reflexive, automatic. We tend to think that karma is a law about pain versus pleasure, but it's not. There is no level of ascendancy free from pain. All we have to do is look at our planet's avatars, our planet's enlightened beings, to get this. The life of Jesus, often set forth as unity's central way shower, you understand, doesn't show a life free from pain. It shows a life rich with meaning. I think of life as something of a container, and our work is to fashion a container of such meaning that it is sturdy enough and deep enough and broad enough to contain the fullness both of life's pleasures and life's pains. We tend to think that karma is a law about pain versus pleasure, but it's not. It is a law about stagnation versus evolution. Would you like me to say that again? Just say yes, because I will be saying it again. We think of karma as being a law about pleasure versus pain, but it's not. It's a law about evolution versus stagnation. If you want to overcome whatever karmic debt you might carry, intervene in those mindless habits. Intervene in those ingrained responses, repetitive behaviors, seeming predispositions that would keep you stuck. When you look in that mirror, let the image remind you to make choices that are intentional. Let the image remind you to make choices that are conscious, new, daring. Let the image remind you to pause. Let's do that together. Let the image remind you to pause and to take a breath. Let the image remind you to pause, to take a breath, even to close the outer eyes, and to check in with that wisdom center at the very heart of you. Check in. Check in with that wisdom center at the very heart of you for any other possibility that might be waiting to come forth. For any higher possibility that might be pressing to come forward. Pause. Take a breath. Check in with that wisdom center at the very heart of you for any inspired possibility that might be longing to be recognized. Overcome any karmic debt that you might carry is to choose evolution over stagnation. It's to change. To overcome any karmic debt you might be carrying is to awaken, it's to grow, it's to unfold. It's to have the courage to become new. And in any moment that we become new, we walk through the gates of divine grace. Into a new dawn. In any moment that we become new, we walk through the gates of divine grace and into a new dawn. So our appropriate response then becomes thank you. Our appropriate response becomes together thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. And amen. Several weeks ago, we began a program called Community Creatives. Oh, we have been blessed by our poets, by our writers, by our thinkers, our philosophers. You, are brilliant and gifted and talented. Today, we offer the sixth of those brilliant, talented souls. Will you join me in offering a warm UIL welcome to Jerry Brocker, please?
Good morning. I think I'm too short for that. So this morning I'm going to share some poetry I started writing over 25 years ago. And there's some nostalgia and some nonsense, and you get to pick which is nostalgia and which is nonsense. 'Cause it's all nonsense. The first one is called Word Block. I cannot write right now. The words are stuck behind the turnstile, crowded on top of one another, all mixed up, and no one has a token to let them through. As they pile up, the confusion gets worse. The verbs are not taking action. The adjectives are indescribable, and nouns are buried under an avalanche of adverbs. There is no structure. Commas and periods are scattered in the confusion. A good, strong pronoun could make a break for it, but the I's, she's, he's, and me's are helpless under the weight of those and thems. The dictionary has exploded, and all the words are escaping at the same time. My head is going to explode too, and there will be words splattered all over the walls like poetry magnets, waiting for a poet. This is about growing up in the 50s. Washington Street. I see shadows of childhood on Washington Street. It was hard to skate maneuvering around olives and walnuts and the canyons and the old sidewalk. Jumping rope in the shade of ancient trees. On hot summer days, the ginkgo fruit was slimy and smelly. The ice cream truck tinkled merrily. Children gathered round spending sticky dimes. Life was slower then. There was no television, so we listened to the radio and played games around the large table. We ate ripe tomatoes in the garden, warmed by the sun. Seeds crept down my chin onto my shirt. The mulberry tree was a haven of purple sweetness, wide branches, thick leaves, a good hiding place. And there were air raid drills. We were told to watch out for the bomb. And don't play with that girl, she's Japanese, the enemy. We were only in first grade, and I thought enemies were large and mean-looking. We just wanted to be friends. Washington Street is different now, as all streets are. Our big white house is gone. In its place are 4 houses. No mulberry tree, no olives, no tomatoes. The street is paved all the way across. The sidewalk is smooth. The ice cream truck plays recorded music. Progress is a good thing, so I hear. I guess that's true. It is much easier to skate on Washington Street, but the shadows of childhood are fading away. And this is just a wish I had one day. I wish that I could be a bee and buzz around all day. If someone tried to frighten me, I could fly away. But if I were to be a bee, I would not have my home. I could not hug the friends I love. I could not write a poem. I could not sit and watch a bee because I would be one. I guess that I will just stay me, and when I can, I'll see one. Remembering Daddy. Dear Daddy, I thought about you today. I couldn't remember you very well. 40 years is a long time. I don't even know when your birthday is. I should know that, I'm sorry. I got out my album and studied your image, smiling and healthy. You came back into all my senses. I remember the aroma of you, stinky plumber's paste, Old Spice, cigarettes and pipes, fresh caught trout, barbecued chuck roast, the hospital smell, the stench of cancer. I remember the flavor of you, Kentucky bourbon. It burned going down, but I didn't care because you gave it to me. Camel cigarettes. You told me a man was peeing behind the wall on the package. You showed me the lion on the camel's back. The taste of the hash browns you cooked in one giant crispy patty, salty, greasy, delicious. I remember the touch of you, large calloused hands delicately removing a splinter from my tiny finger and drying my tears. Your arms around me so warm. Your cheek was so cold the last time I kissed you. I didn't know that you had died. I wish they'd told me. I remember the sight of you, tired and dirty after work, your sparkling smile when doing something you loved, fishing, singing silly songs, telling funny stories, and gently teasing. Your angry face when you punished Chuck. You looked sorry afterwards. You became so pale and thin near the end. I remember the sound of you yelling at someone, teaching me to sing, "I won't go hunting with you, Jake, but I'll go chasing women." Your laughter, your favorite songs, Tennessee Waltz, Claire de Lune, Mockingbird Hill, they still remind me of you. The hospital machines pumping, feeding you, eliminating for you. Then at your funeral, the 21-gun salute. It was so loud, I was so scared. You weren't there to hold my hand. I haven't forgotten you after all. You live inside of me. I'll ask someone when your birthday is, and I'll sing for you. I won't go hunting with you, Jake. That I never forgot. Last one is about s'mores. We tried to make s'mores last night while sitting on the beach. The air was cold, the fire was hot, the coals were out of reach. The marshmallows, they were ablaze, the chocolate would not melt. The crackers cracked, the whole thing leaked. 'Twas frustrated, we felt. But they were good and very sweet. The problems we forgave. Next time we will stay at home and use the microwave.
Man, Jerry, I knew you were awesome, but those were just freaking brilliant. Wow. What an amazing group. Anyway, now is the time that we'd like to provide you the opportunity to give back to this extraordinary community. Usually at this point, I offer some pithy quote from Charles Fillmore or Eric Butterworth, but today I want to tell you a little story. When I was a little girl, I couldn't even sell Girl Scout cookies. So you can imagine my anxiety as I stand up here asking anyone for anything, especially money. But I've learned recently that to enjoy a rich spiritual life, I must absolutely make peace with myself and my relationship with money. I've learned that to embrace the law of prosperity, which is indeed as much of a law as gravity, that I must believe in the abundance of God first. So I've been practicing. First, I give small things during the week: a smile to my neighbor, a compliment, a hug to a dear friend. And I notice how I feel when I give bigger things: a new riding outfit to my daughter, a contribution to public radio, a donation to the plumber when he fixes my water heater. Oh, that wasn't really a donation. Anyway, most importantly, I pay attention to how good I feel doing these things, and I'm reminded that I'm living in the flow of prosperity, of love, and of life. So I'm asking you to practice this week with the little things, but also with giving here to Unity in Lynnwood. Think of what it feels like to walk through those doors or pop in on Facebook or YouTube every week and give from this place.
All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have anyone who might be new or newer today? We'd love to give you a little round of applause. Anyone? Raise your hand. All right. Woo! Welcome, welcome. We love new people, and just briefly, I will invite you in the seat pocket in front of you. There is a lot of information. There is a stay in touch card. If you give us your info, you'll get an email or two a month with all the great things that are happening here. Also, feel free to stop by Soul Things, our gift shop, pick up a copy of the Daily Word, which is full of lots of great inspirations for 2 months. And feel free to stop also back at the Welcome and Information Station and grab someone and ask whatever questions you may have. So welcome, welcome. Right now, I have the honor of welcoming someone really extraordinary to the platform to give you some invitations. Would you please welcome Frances Johnson?
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Please register for all events by visiting the calendar page at www.unityinlynnwood.org. Please check out the many offerings of UIL's small group ministry. UIL's men's group offers a work, pray, eat retreat on Saturday, October 22nd at 8:30 a.m. Build community through a shared group project. Enjoy some spiritual communion and then fire up the grill for a relaxing barbecue lunch. Bring your lawn chair, work gloves, and an open heart for this special time together. This will be fun. All are welcome. And finally, on Friday, October 28th, don your favorite high roller wear for a social hour and an elegant dinner, followed by an evening of blackjack, roulette, craps, a variety table, photo booth, and dancing to the professional DJ. All produced by the professionals of Fantasy Casino Parties and sponsored by the general folks at Mill Creek Family Services. All benefits will benefit the general operating fund of Unity in Lynnwood. With thanks to a generous anonymous donor, all funds raised will be matched without limit. Tiered tickets are selling quickly through www.unityinlynnwood.org. Finally, please contact Dr. Richard directly if you or your business would like to sponsor this event as we go all in for unityinlynnwood.org. Thank you.
Oh, Francis, you did great. Has anyone here ever done something for the first time? Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you to UIL's amazing crew. Thanks to each of you. Thanks to each of you. Take a deep breath with me. If there's a first name of any soul you would like to have included in a closing prayer, I would invite you just to speak that name out loud. It can be in a whisper. It can be loud. It's up to you. Just speak that name. If there's a situation you would like included, a condition, just speak it out loud. And let's close as we began with that discipline, with that technology, if you will, that we call prayer. It matters not what you call it. Let's take a deep breath. Let us close our outer eyes to that world of separation, that world of partiality, that world that would shout of separation and limitation. Let us close our eyes to that world, that we might come into a spiritual seeingness of a truer world. We close the outer eyes, not that we would turn from the truth, but that we might know a truer truth then. And I close with the audacious affirmation that the God of my understanding is at hand. The God of my understanding is present, and the God of my understanding is ample to whatever it is that's before me today. The God of my understanding is at hand. The God of my understanding is present. The God of my understanding is ample. There is a wisdom ample to any sense of confusion. There is a sufficiency ample to any sense of incompletion. There is life, 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 life standing behind all expressed forms. So my prayer then becomes one of welcome. Welcome to that which is already doing what it's doing. My prayer becomes one of gratitude then. So I close simply by saying thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And we close as we always do with sung words of blessing, with sung words of farewell.
May the long time sun shine upon